It's time for Compass Check, brought to you by Claret Compass. From alignment to delivery, we help teams succeed together. Welcome back to Compass Check. Today we're talking about conflict. Not the blow-ups, not the drama, not the tension that drains everyone in the room. We're talking about high-performing conflict, the kind of conflict that sharpens the work. Many teams, especially early on in a project or when they're under pressure, treat conflict like a threat, something to minimize, soothe, or push to the side. Leaders step into meetings seeing signs of turbulence and thinking, if we could just get everyone to agree, things would go faster. But here's the truth. When everyone nods along, you're not necessarily getting alignment. You could be getting avoidance. Real alignment is earned through friction, the kind that surfaces assumptions, tests ideas, and forces clarity. And that's why conflict handled well is one of the most important elements of high-performing teams. Think about Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Antonin Scalia. In the Supreme Court, they rarely agreed on anything. Their judicial philosophies often sat on opposite ends of the spectrum. But the respect they held for one another meant their disagreements made each other's arguments stronger. Their clash of ideas didn't weaken their work. It refined it. Think about Sheryl Sandberg and Mark Zuckerberg. They had a similar dynamic in Facebook's early days. Sandberg challenged, questioned, and pushed back on decisions constantly. Now, Zuckerberg didn't always love it, but he understood it made the company's strategy sharper. Across every field, the pattern is consistent. Respect paired with challenge equals stronger thinking. High-performing teams expect friction. They build the muscle of working through it. Low-performing teams, on the other hand, avoid it. And that avoidance has a predictable look. When teams don't feel safe or practiced at healthy conflict, you see behaviors that look calm on the surface, but quietly undermine everything. It may look like heads nodding with no real engagement. People agree publicly, but privately might be thinking, this will never work. Then there's also the meeting after the meeting, where the real opinions come out, but only after a decision has already been made. And then there's the silent resistance. People quietly reroute work, or slow roll requests, or wait for a plan to fail so they can say, we knew this wasn't going to work. It's all undermining a direction they didn't feel safe confronting in the room. On the surface, things look peaceful. Underneath, nothing is aligned. There's no clarity. And the team is cycling through rework, miscommunication, and mistrust. Avoidance feels like harmony, but it's actually disengagement. Now contrast that with high-performing teams, where the conversation happens in the room. There's disagreement with respect. And alignment is by choice, not pressure. Conflict on a high-performing team happens as the team grapples with competing priorities, incomplete information, shifting constraints, or unclear outcomes. It may sound like an argument, but it's really a discussion about clarity. Consider a web development team. They might say things like, we need to prioritize the feature customers keep asking for. No, we need to stabilize the platform before adding anything new. If we simplify the scope, we're cutting out the part that matters most to our customers. But if we simplify, we can get the majority out sooner. Or maybe you might see it in event planning. We can't afford every trade show this year, and Denver actually drives the most leads. But don't we want the trade show that drives the best leads, not necessarily the most? These aren't personal disagreements. They're disagreements about the work. As a leader, your job isn't to eliminate the tension. Your job is to channel it. In situations like this, you could say, I'm hearing different instincts. Both have merit. Instead of debating preferences, let's first talk about what outcome we're actually driving to. And then you can guide the team with clarifying questions, like, what matters most right now? Speed, quality, customer value, or risk reduction? What are the trade-offs we're willing to make? What's the cost of being wrong in either direction? Your role is to help the team sharpen the decision. One of the most effective ways to normalize healthy conflict is to invite it before it's needed. You build credibility by showing you want the real conversation, not just the polite one. You might ask questions like, before we commit, what's the strongest argument against this approach? Or maybe you ask, where might this break down in the field? Or for our customers? Or in production? Or you could be forward-thinking. If we looked back a month from now, what would we be glad that we challenged today? This is leadership with clarity and humility. So here's your compass check. Where is your team avoiding unnecessary disagreement? And what sharper decision could emerge if you opened that conversation this week? Conflict doesn't derail strong teams. Avoidance does. Healthy conflict, rooted in respect, curiosity, and shared purpose, sharpens ideas, strengthens alignment, and accelerates delivery. Lean into the tension, respect the people, and focus on the work. That's how you build trust. That's how you elevate performance. And that's how you deliver results. That's all for today. Thank you for listening. Until next time, navigate with purpose, collaborate with trust, and deliver what matters. Do you have a question for us to discuss on our podcasts? Or would you like to be a guest? Visit us at k-compass.com/shift.